And we have some breaking news out of the NFL today. The league has officially reinstated Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley. This comes nearly a year to the day when Ridley was suspended for gambling on NFL games during the 2021 season when he was with the Falcons. Now, this past November, the Falcons traded him to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a pair of draft picks. Ridley missed the entire 2022 season. And again, Calvin Ridley reinstated from a gambling suspension. This is a look at his 2020 season. He played 5 games in 2021, then of course suspended in 2022. His wide receiver rank is 9th there. And we are bringing in our Pete Prisco to talk about this news here. Pete, when you're hearing that the league reinstated Calvin Ridley, what was your initial reaction? Also, you heard something about him and the shape that he's in right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, they say, and people in the Jaguars organization told me this, they say he's in incredible shape. He recently was timed at 22.5 miles per hour in a workout. And that's pretty good movement for a guy who hadn't played in a couple years. And that's always the concern when a guy doesn't play. He missed all of last year, but the year before he didn't play that much football either. But 3 years ago, he was outstanding and a #1 wide receiver in Atlanta. So I think it's a great opportunity for him to get back. And sure, he might be a little bit rusty, but this is a #1 receiver, #1 type receiver when he is on the field. And I think that's a big part of adding another dimension to the Jaguars offense. It's going to be pretty explosive.
Yeah, let's talk more about that offense, Pete. Obviously, the Jags, Trevor Lawrence making a pretty good run there in the postseason this last season. What do you think this means, especially if he's in that good of a shape? How do you think he's going to just kind of build on that offense in Jacksonville?
Well, I think it gives them another big weapon on the outside, and it allows Christian Kirk to go back and do what he does best, which is line up inside. And then you have Zay Jones on the other side, and that gives him a speed element down the field. What he's going to do, he's going to open everybody up. A lot of times when you have 2 speed guys, and he can fly a little bit, but Zay Jones can run on the outside, it's hard to double both of them. And I think that's going to open up some opportunities for Kirk in the middle of the field, and he had a great year as a free agent. And let's not forget, they're going to bring back Evan Ingram as well, at least on a tag, bare minimum, so he'll be in the offense. They have a lot of pass catchers. Trevor Lawrence has to be happy about that. This has a potential to be a really, really dynamic offense, with Doug Peterson being one of the best play callers in the NFL. And by the way, it will need to be, because they're not great on defense. They have a long way to go on that side of the ball. So why not keep everybody in the offensive fold and try and score a lot of points and beat people that way?
And Pete, you mentioned you think he might be a little bit rusty, but do you think game 1, we're back in the season, is he going to be starting out there for the Jags?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. And by the way, this is a good move because the free agency class is not that good as it relates to the wide receivers, and the draft isn't loaded with top-tier wide receivers. So this will be a move that pays off big for the Jacksonville Jaguars because he can still play at a high level, and it gives them another dimension. The one thing you noticed last year, although they put up some good numbers, they didn't take the top off down the field as much as they'd like. I think this will be a good addition for Trevor Lawrence to get his deep ball going. So across the board, that's going to be a tough offense to defend.
All right, Pete Prisco joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. If you're just tuning in, we are following some breaking news out of the NFL where the league has officially reinstated Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley. Of course, the crew on the Pick 6 podcast, they're going to have a lot to discuss with this breaking news. Make sure you download and listen wherever you get your podcast. And of course, you can also make it easy, scan that QR code on your screen.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.